This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
From the historic Acuff House on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza. That's our new studio home, complete with a museum exhibit that you can be a part of when you tour the Opry. Come over and see our place. Yes, you can. Decorated for Christmas, I might add. Thank you to Annie Nye, our studio director.
Doesn't
and
it look
her crew.
gorgeous?
She enlisted the help of Aaron Cooper and I think Eric Markham was in yesterday, and Jason.
Zach Bennett.
Yep.
Zach Bennett.
Yes. Well, Jason Mays was drinking coffee,
He was
supervising. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Jeff Roberts was on the scene. He's in master control this morning. So welcome to Coffee, Country, and Cody. And it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas. Thank you, Annie, for your hard work on getting things together.
It looks beautiful. I came in and I said, "Oh, did Balsam Hill come and decorate?" And she said, "No, I did it." And I was like, "It looks professional. It looks so good. I love it. It makes me feel happy." Now she can come and do my house because I only have. I got the tree up. I got the garland around the front door, but it's not lit. It's like half and half. We got one tree. We got the second tree is up, but there's no decorations on it.
So it's the Griswolds.
Kind of.
We'll know the house when we drive by it in your neighborhood.
It's just busy. You know, you're like,
Annie,
all right.
do you consult? Are you consulting for Christmas this
For
year?
hire. Yeah, I could bring you over.
Yeah.
She said maybe.
Yeah,
All
she's
right.
in.
That's good. That's good. Hey, speaking of Christmas, Dolly Parton, Talking Christmas, Talk Shop Live with one of our favorites, Stephanie Quayle. I got so excited when I saw this. So what is Dolly's go-to hostess gift? If she's going to like a dinner party, what does she usually take? I'll tell you coming up. Actually, Stephanie asked the question, so we'll find out. Also, we mentioned it, Post Malone Super Bowl, not the halftime show, but he will be a part of it. Alison Krauss going back on tour for the first time in 10 years, and Parmalee has another #1. So lots of things to talk about coming up in entertainment.
It's funny you're talking about Dolly bringing something to a holiday party. She was on the air with me one morning, and she was talking about eating Vienna or Viennese sausages, as my mama could. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And
Out of the
Marty,
little can?
yeah. And Marty Stewart was on his way in. He followed her on the show. And Marty said, "Can't you just see Dolly Parton sitting around watching TV, eating Viennese sausages and saltine crackers?"
You know what she told me? I asked her one time, I said, like, what is the perfect night in? You're in.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And she said, "I'm going to order a pizza." And I said, "Okay, what are we going to get on the pizza?" And she said, "Extra pork sausage is what she loves on her pizza."
Really?
And then she wants to sit and watch CSI because that's her favorite. She loves the crime shows. So CSI and pork sausage pizza is Dolly's dream night in.
That sounds like Mama Helen, except
It
it was
does.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah. What Howie Mandel show? Deal or No Deal.
Yeah,
She was a
that's
big
right.
Deal or
she
No
did,
Deal fan.
She did get good memory, Charlie. She did
Good.
get addicted to
Yeah.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Got your Christmas tree yet? I didn't ask if you had it up. Just asked if you had one. I got an idea. TNTrailsandbyways.com. Type in Christmas tree. That's all you got to do. And here's what came up when I did that, Charlie. And I know you're going to tell them how they can get the guide here in a minute. R.C. Acres Christmas Tree Farm near Crossville. Corrigan, Tennessee. House Mountain Christmas Trees. Locust Point Christmas Tree Farm. Adamsville. High School, Tennessee, over north of Knoxville. The Bluebird Christmas Tree Farm. Collierville has a Christmas tree lighting ceremony they'd love for you to be a part of. Duncan Christmas Tree Farm and Gift Shop in Selmer. Pinewood Christmas Tree Farm, close to us, close to you, actually, close to you and Kelly, in Franklin.
There we
and
go.
in Hendersonville, up my way, Christmas Tree Adventures. Visit our farm, take home a Christmas memory.
Now, to quote to James Gregory, because sometime in the past, okay, I'm going to give you a little warning. If you do go to one of the Christmas tree farms, this is from my wife's childhood. Make sure there's not a praying mantis nest in the tree, because when they hatch on Christmas Eve, the pug has lots of treats. Okay, now Bill mentioned the guide. Travel like a local Tennessee guide right here. It's available at tntrailsandbyways.com. 154 pages of Tennessee goodness, and my favorite part for everybody who grew up only in the cell phone era, this was Waze before Waze.
It's a map.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I can't do it, but but Bill can.
Fold up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I can actually fold it, but that's my only skill with this
Good
thing.
job,
so,
Charlie
yeah.
Mattos. Get off the beaten path. Stand out on the scenic route. It starts at tntrailsandbyways.com. Kelly Sutton, good morning to you.
Good morning. You know, it's a little soon to be talking about Super Bowl. Do we have any predictions? Anybody?
Like
Who's going
teams?
Yeah, the teams.
Oh, I would love to see Lions from the NFC. They're having such a great season.
Yeah.
That would be such a popular pick, I think, for a lot of people.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to go against the Chiefs. They just keep winning. I mean, they're 11-1 or 12-1. So
And the Lions are 11-1.
yeah, that would be a great matchup.
Ooh, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the Titans 11-1? Our Titans? What are they?
1-11. No.
They're much closer to that than they are.
I think we won.
2-10?
No, 3-10 or 3-9.
You act like that's
3-10.
really off the mark when I say.
Well, this weekend they're playing the 2-10 Jacksonville Jaguars, so there's a chance that it'll win.
We beat your juggernaut New England Patriots a while back. That's one of them.
Yeah, we're suffering up there. The Brady years are starting to look like, the Abe Lincoln years. It's like they're way in the past.
He is now a Raiders owner, or going to be.
Tom Brady? Yeah. I think he's also going to be like a part owner in a WNBA team. I mean, the man's got a lot of money.
He has money and time.
Yes.
Yeah, you think
So-
though he would be a Patriots investor, but I guess Robert Kraft would have to say, "Okay, Tom,
Yes,
I will sell you some."
I would think so.
Yeah.
But you'd think he'd want to.
You would think,
Yeah.
yes, but perhaps not so much. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, so one thing we do know about the Super Bowl coming up, we don't know the teams. We do know it's going to be in New Orleans, and now we know Post Malone is going to be a part of it. He is not going to be the halftime show, sadly, but he will be playing just outside as a part of the festivities. They've been doing this for a while. It is the Bud Light Backyard Concert Series. They had Zach Bryan, Leon Bridges in the past. Well, this year it's going to be Bud Light Backyard presents Post Malone. It's going to be taking place at the Fillmore in New Orleans. You've been there, haven't you, Charlie? The Fillmore?
No, I've been to many places in New Orleans, but
haven't
I've
done
not
that
been
one.
to the Fillmore.
Okay, well, maybe this is our opportunity to get there. February 7th, completely free. So if you want to be there, you just have to squeeze in because it's around 2,000 people. And I think it's probably first come, first serve.
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
wanna
that's going
see
to
it.
be swamped, right?
Yeah, it's going to be
And
swamped.
The halftime show is Kendrick Lamar, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Who you saw in Las Vegas? Am I right on that?
No, I saw Bruno Mars.
Oh, okay.
I saw Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. They were Silk Sonic together. But yeah, Kendrick Lamar, I think I probably know a couple of the songs. It'll be one of those that probably
know that. Yeah.
Watching it, I'll
Right.
go, oh, okay, yeah, I know that one.
Who was the guy a couple of years ago? It was that same thing. It's like, oh, I know all these songs, but I can't think. 2 years ago.
Garth Brooks, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I know more than two of
Yeah,
his.
just kidding.
Well, now I'm drawing a blank.
But he still hasn't verified you. No matter how
All
much
of
money.
them just go
Yeah,
over my head.
They do, yeah.
You watch them and you go, okay.
Jackson liked the Snoop Dogg Eminem one.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. I don't know. All right, so we've got a while until that happens. Let's talk about Christmas. That's the next big thing on everybody's list, right? What are you going to buy, people? What are you going to do? You've probably been invited to some Christmas parties, some gatherings. Well, if you don't know what to take as a hostess gift, let's take a lesson from the queen herself, Dolly Parton. She was doing a talk shop live with our good friend Stephanie Quayle, and Stephanie was talking about hostess gifts. And Dolly said, the fun thing is when somebody makes or bakes something and brings it to me. In fact, that's what I like to do. Take a listen.
I love to cook chicken and dumplings, and a lot of people love my chicken and dumplings. So
I've heard.
A lot of times I will take that gift
Yeah.
to someone at the party.
I've never had chicken and dumplings.
Oh, you're
I'm
kidding
not.
me.
I actually
Where are you
had.
from,
I'm from
Mars?
Montana. I know, right? Mars, Montana. I was thinking about because I was looking at your cookbook and I was like, and you called them, I think, chicken and dumplings because.
Oh, that's what mine are, 'cause I just put everything in mine.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that. I'd never had those, so maybe
Well,
maybe
some of
sometime.
these days when
maybe
we-
one of these days we can.
Since you had a song called Drinking with
yeah.
Dolly, well, maybe we'll have a drink and I'll make you some chicken and dumplings. You'll be down in with Dolly.
I mean,
How's that?
you heard it here first. It just
And that is when Stephanie needed to be resuscitated from the floor because Dolly just said she was going to make her chicken and dumplings and they could sit around and eat together. I was
Dumplings
like,
with Dolly.
Dumplings
That's it.
with Dolly.
That's it.
I'm in on that. I literally texted her and I was like, girl, what is happening right now? So happy for her. That was such a fun Talk Shop Live.
I mean, I go to Cracker Barrel and order chicken and dumplings and get dumplings as one of my sides. I'm such
really?
a dumpling fan. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big fan of the doughy. Yeah.
I was going to say, it's just dough,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, but it's
Okay.
so good.
I tell
It is
you
good.
what is over the top good and underrated and understated at Cracker Barrel And that is the giblet gravy that they have at Thanksgiving
Really?
with their turkey. You just can't get enough. I mean, it is good. The thing is, you think about putting it on your turkey, right?
Yeah.
But then you can put it on your green beans. You can put it on your corn casserole. You can put it on your anything. Your bread, you just put it on there. It's like perfect with everything. I don't know how they did that. You can drink it.
I was going to say, give him a straw and put him in the middle of the giblet
Giblet
gravy.
McFlurry.
I'm like
can't.
you referenced James Gregory.
Yeah.
Sometime in the past, James Gregory said, "Well, I was a grown man before I realized that gravy was not a beverage."
Well, you know, the crazy thing is I don't like gravy
Really?
at all.
Like not red eye gravy, brown gravy,
Nope.
thickening gravy,
Nope.
white gravy?
No. In fact, we almost forgot it this year. I mean, that was one of those items on Thanksgiving morning. I think I had Paul go out and buy gravy, or maybe it was that night. I said, I don't have any gravy, and
Well-
I don't like it, so I don't think about it, but I know other people do, so he ran out and grabbed some.
This is why Dolly wouldn't let you do Talk Shop Live. She did it with Stephanie. She found out Stephanie
By
didn't
the way-
know what a dumpling was, and she was disappointed about that.
She's like, well,
You don't like gravy?
what's that about? By the way, Dolly has a really, really cute collection of things that she's released with Walmart. So that's what they were talking about with some of
okay.
those things. And there's a cute platter that has Dolly on it. So if you're looking for some cute gifts, there's an idea for you. Alison Krauss back on tour. This was a big story yesterday. Alison Krauss and Union Station, featuring Jerry Douglas, have announced 73-date tour. It starts April 17th in Louisville, Kentucky. It's going to wrap up September 28th in Davie, Florida. Tickets are on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. local time, and we gave some away earlier.
Yep. Nashville, August 22nd, the Sand Amphitheater.
So it's very close to the end because they wrap up on the 28th of that month. So
No, September. They
You said
August,
August. Okay.
she's about a month
no, we
out.
want to get it in the prime heat. That's right. Let's put everybody outside in the
Crank
big
up the,
heat.
the humidity machine. We have a factory
Excellent.
that makes it here.
Excellent. That's perfect. AlisonKrauss.com if you want to try to get tickets. And coming up next time, we'll talk about Parmalee's #1 and video that you have to see. We're streaming with all of our partners right now. So log on and watch us because the studio looks beautiful, but also I have video of a man jumping out of a roller coaster. He's fine. Spoiler alert, he's fine. But the circumstances that happened before this video were scary.
He did not plan to do this. Let's just put it that way.
No.
Okay.
No. So stay tuned.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Hey, welcome to it from the Acuff House studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza. Kelly Sutton. The history here, we talked about Elf on the Shelf. You had all this great insight earlier, and including asking folks to interact with us on socials regarding what's the craziest thing you've ever done with your elf on the shelf. Before there were scout elves, there was Fizby, a pixie elf that Carol Ebersole received when she was a kid in 1974. She told her 3 children that the elf was there to keep an eye on them in the days leading up to Christmas and would report back nightly to Santa Claus.
So she's the one.
Oh, the elf was
And
a
she
spy.
Has built an industry, not just a cottage industry, a worldwide industry out of Elf on the Shelf and that idea, which gave birth to the Mensch on the Bench, as well as the Switch Witch.
Oh, I didn't know the Switch Witch.
I don't know that one either.
You know, the new one that I've seen is Snoop on the Stoop. So it's Snoop Dogg, and he's sitting on the stoop. We have some pictures up for you right now if you're watching
that's
us.
hysterical.
One of the elves got caught up in the clothesline. There's one that's climbing a gumball tree. Another one has made a ladder out of peppermint sticks. Oh, I like this. It's like Jenga, but you're using Kit Kats.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that. They always do find a way to get into trouble.
Well, that won't last long, though. I do like the Kit Kat.
That's a lot of Kit Kats.
Yeah.
That was at least 7.
We're
8.
not sure when Carol got her Fizby,
Okay.
which would be the name for her Elf on the Shelf. But she started the tradition with her kids in 1974.
Oh, that's when it started with her kids.
Yeah.
That's not when
Yeah.
she got her. Okay.
Yeah. But
Wow.
it wasn't a thing until she passed this tradition on to her children.
Well, there's been a movie. So have you seen the movie
With
Elf on the Shelf?
Oh, no, I have not.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
I just default to Will Ferrell, but that's not the one you're speaking of, obviously. No.
There is an Elf on the Shelf cartoon, which is really cute, and it shows them going through all of their adventures. I know that there are books. There are the actual small dolls that are kind of the hard face plastic that you see, but then they have the soft, bigger ones for little bitties.
Okay.
And those you can touch. I mean, she's brilliant. She's making money on it.
Elfontheshelf.com got his own website.
There you
and
go.
It says featured in films, on the stage, and even the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
There you go. Yeah. So get your elf. Get your elf on the shelf. Well, let's talk about our friends Parmalee. They do have an elf-like quality, don't they? And we love them so much. The guys have been around town for years. They're easy to root for, and we love it when good things happen for them. They scored their 5th #1 with their song, Gonna Love You. There's a very poignant video that goes along with this particular song, and it relates to real-life events that happened to the group. I guess it was over 10 years ago now. Here's what Matt had to say about it.
In the video, we had the song. We wanted to tell our story about what happened to us in 2010 before we even had a record deal. For those who don't, then they can go watch the video, and it's a true depiction of what we went through that almost ended our career as a band. So if you haven't seen the video, please go watch the video because it'll give you a whole nother meaning to the song.
In case you're not familiar with what happened, they were at a show in South Carolina. They were getting on their bus and they were held up at gunpoint. Armed robbery on their bus. Scott, the drummer, also had a gun, and there was a gunfight on their bus. One of the robbers was shot and killed. Scott was shot 3 times. He was rushed to the hospital, had a 5% chance of surviving, and somehow made it through. The video for this song recounts that entire scene. So much so that the guys in the band told me they were really shaken up while they were shooting this video, because it was a weird form of immersion therapy. They hadn't talked about this. Again, it happened in 2010, and they just kind of put it away, boxed it away. You know, that was a part of their past. And now it's a part of this video.
Well, think about the fact that they didn't have a record deal.
No.
That came after this.
Yes.
The fact that they stayed together as a band
Yeah.
and pursued it at such a high level that they got a record deal.
Yeah.
And here we are 5 #1s later now.
Well, Scott and Matt are brothers. Matt's the lead singer. Scott's the drummer. They have their cousin in the band, and then another friend that's
Lifelong
a
childhood
very,
friend.
very close
Yeah.
friend. So the fact that all of them went through that together, it's really poignant, and I'm very happy for the guys. Congratulations on that #1. All right, let's talk about New Year's Eve. It's happening, and we are going to have some of our friends a part of Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve with Ryan Seacrest. Get ready, because we're going to see Thomas Rhett on the screen as well as Cody Johnson. Very excited about that. More performers will be announced later, but we know we've got at least 2 of them in there. Teddy Swims will also be performing, so I don't know if TR and Teddy Swims are going to do their duet together.
Well, that seems like a natural, right?
I mean, you would think so. More performers will be announced in the upcoming weeks. I've got to show you this video. I found it. If you're a roller coaster enthusiast, this is either
Not
like
so fast.
Yeah, this is one of those things that really makes your hands sweat, or you're like, you know, this guy is on a roller coaster. It's Castles and Coasters.
Does this need audio?
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay,
No
all right.
audio.
Okay.
But you can see him. They're at the top of the hill, and he's climbing out of the roller coaster seat. He starts to climb out right as it's getting to the very top of the hill. And you're thinking, what is happening? As they were going up that first big hill, his lap bar came loose. He heard it click, and he looked down, and all of a sudden he's not strapped in, and this roller coaster goes upside down multiple times.
Yeah, that's like the next thing that's coming.
They're at the top of the at the top of the hill, and all of a sudden the lap bar is up. What do you do? And he said, I thought the only chance I have is to jump out of this thing. And you know, they've got that tiny little walkway that's over at the side that's for safety and maintenance and all the things. So he jumps out and gets on the side over there, and thank God he's okay. But that was... Can you even?
No.
I don't know that I would have the wherewithal to think, get out of the coaster. I think I would be like, hey, my lap bar, hey. I don't know what I would do, or I'd freeze, you know.
Remember that time Kelly Sutton plummeted to her death? You remember that? Yeah.
Well, then you start thinking, can I hold myself in?
Yeah, that was my
Absolutely
other
not.
thought.
No.
Absolutely not. You couldn't.
I'm very glad I'm a few months away from my next roller coaster ride.
Well,
if
again,
it was coming up in the next week or two.
can I tell you the name of the coaster? It was Desert Storm. I'm like, come on, guys, really?
It's
That's
in
what you-
Phoenix in the desert.
Yeah,
Hence the
but just be warned if you're going to coasters and castles or castles and coasters, just don't. That's it. That's all I got.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
So Will Hoge got a new album out. It's called Tenderhearted Boys. Came out back in the spring. Just before we went live, Charlie was telling him a story about Larry Gatlin's songwriting, which put him in the Hall of Fame, and there's something unique about it.
Well, every single Gatlin Brothers hit, and there's 30-something of them, every one of those songs starts with the chorus.
Yeah.
Because you think verse, chorus, and they all just hit you right off the bat with the chorus.
And our special guest, Will Hoge, who just sat down with his guitar, looked over at us and goes, I have to go home now and rewrite all of my
songs. It's like, it's just chorus, verse, chorus, and we're out. This is so much easier than I've been making it.
Be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame
I'm
awaits you,
telling
buddy.
you, I just got to sit down and write a few now. Good to
When's your next session?
go. Monday.
Okay.
And it's starting with the chorus.
It's starting with
I
the
promise
chorus.
you. Yeah.
Well, Will is with us this morning. I mentioned Tenderhearted Boys. You're playing 3rd and Lindsley Friday and Saturday, and you're doing some retro album-themed things surrounding those performances.
Yeah, it's 25 years since the release of my very first album, Carousel, and we wanted to revisit, when you were making records in the 1900s, they didn't make vinyl recordings anymore. And
1900s.
so, right?
Oh.
It hurts. It makes
It
your knees
hurts.
hurt just
It
saying it. But yeah, so we wanted to go back. We remixed and remastered everything for vinyl and pressed those up, and so those will be available for the first time at the shop at willhoge.com, but then you can get them at the shows this weekend as well.
And so that's Carousel and then Blackbird on a Lonely Wire.
Yeah, that's in the process. We're going to preview I got a new band, and we're going to play some of the songs from both of those records, and then Blackbird on a Lonely Wire will come out on vinyl for the first time, first of the year.
But for vinyl fans, those are going to 3rd and Lindsley.
Yeah.
There's an exclusive vinyl that you can get at the show,
There
right?
is, and I'm not sure that wasn't a mistake that the factory did. They printed a bunch of these really cool
Splatter,
we
kind of,
did
right?
a clear vinyl, which was gorgeous, and I think they accidentally did some paint splattered, which we were like, send us those too.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They
Yeah.
sent a photo. We were like, so we'll take those. So those are available as well. Yeah,
Oh, fun stuff. So do you have a vinyl collection at home?
I do.
What's your most precious? Like the house is on fire, you got to grab it.
And your dad had one too, did he?
Yeah.
So, and his is really the one that is impeccably maintained. I mean, I've got a lot of records from when I was a kid, and then stuff that I've bought on the road along the way. But yeah, my dad has kind of every great record, all genres, from about 1965 to 78, probably. I mean, everything you can think of: Buck Owens, the Beatles, the Stones, Aretha Franklin. So that's if my house catches on fire, I'm rushing to my dad's house to get his record collection. That's what I'm doing.
I wish you could have been a fly on the wall. So I'm a vinyl guy. So I wish you had been a fly on the wall as I'm trying to explain to my wife why I need a 9th copy of the White Album.
There's a lot of good reasons for that.
She could not understand why 8 was not sufficient.
Hey, and that counts as a reason for divorce in some cases. So,
Your Honor?
yeah, she didn't want me to have a 9th copy of the White Album.
Did you get to press it here? Was it at like United Record Pressing
We have
here?
done United.
Okay.
United was really busy, like many things. As you know, as I was late here this morning, giving you my George Jones impersonation. We tend to run a little up against things, and United has always been so great to us, but they were busy, and we needed to turn it around quicker.
Okay.
And so we went to that's the other thing that's crazy is as vinyl has really continued to grow, these little mom and pop plants have popped up all over. We've got a company in Texas that does a lot of work for us, and then this time we found a company in Raleigh, North Carolina that's got a shop that did really great work too.
It's always fun to like watch it happen.
It's incredible.
And I can't imagine what it's like for an artist, especially when this album has been out for as long as it has and you're actually seeing it pressed into vinyl for the first time.
Yeah, and getting to go, Welcome to 1979 is a great studio over on the west side of town, and they do a lot of vinyl pressing and lacquer cutting and all of that. And even, getting to see that really the first time and getting to hear the test pressings in that environment. The music business is hard, and there's these little moments where you feel like, this is how my heroes did it. And those are those little moments, like watching your record actually get cut onto vinyl. I mean, you feel like you're a star at that point. You're like, oh, it's really happening.
Take us back a quarter of a century to Carousel. We're going to feature Heartbreak Avenue. What was going on in Will Hoge's life at that moment in time?
You know, it's interesting because I was really so young and naive, and I listened back to that record as we were recutting it, and so many of those songs were written. I was living in an abandoned house that my grandmother had, she'd passed away, and I was living there and kind of fixing it up, and just, it was my first foray into really writing every day, which I should have been starting with a chorus. I've learned today. But, yeah, I mean, I woke up every day and I started writing songs, and that song was really one of the first story songs of a girl that I grew up with that had moved away to California and trying to sort of make a bigger and better life for herself. And that was one of the first songs that I wrote. I remember Dan Baird, my original guitar player, who's playing with me this weekend, he heard it and he said, that song's a hit. He said it had more hooks than a tackle box. And so I took that as a big compliment.
And I got to tell you, when I saw Tenderhearted Boys the first time, it's one of those album titles that you look at and you go, oh my goodness, I got to know more about who the Tenderhearted Boys are, because this could be a novel
Sure.
that becomes a movie, that kind of thing.
I hope it's all of those things.
Yeah. Keep the rights.
Lunch is on me when that happens.
So who are the Tenderhearted Boys in the title track of the album?
Yeah, I got two sons. They're 17 and 14 now. You know, and I continue to find such inspiration watching them, but also just in the things that they say and do. And, you know, I feel like the world can be particularly hard on everybody, but I think for young men in particular, you know, a lot of times we're encouraged to not feel, we're encouraged to really bury emotions and kind of be hard in ways that they're not helpful to us.
Yeah, if you're tenderhearted, don't show it.
Yeah,
right?
You know, and we're really discouraged from being tenderhearted. And I watched as both of my kids were incredibly tenderhearted when they were younger. And we've really, my wife and I have tried to cultivate a life for them where they can continue to have that and be sweet, tough men that go and, you know, make the world a better place. And so they are the tenderhearted boys, and I hope that they never lose that.
What are their names?
Liam is the oldest and George is the youngest. Yeah.
Oh. Anyone playing guitar, taking after Dad?
Yeah, you know, Liam has started bands. We had our first house concert.
Oh, good times.
So he had two bands that he's playing in and invited a third band over, and we set up on the we got a little basketball court in the backyard, and we set up a band and set up a PA, and we had to write letters to the neighbors to apologize, and invited all the neighbors over, and they charged to get in, and yeah, they had about 100 people there. It was incredible.
How many people did you have at your first gig?
Not 100. Right. You know, I was asking him before the show, I was like, so before we do this, like, we got to do it right. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. And so how many people do you think? And he said, well, somewhere between 15 and 300.
Oh, that's a
And I
big
laughed because I
span.
talked to some of my rock and roll friends, you know, that we're all out playing in clubs still. And he was like, so nothing changes. It's like we do this every night. Like, it's like, I don't know. How many people are going to show up? I don't know. Somewhere between 15 and 300. Like, this is the rest of your life. It starts at 17 and then they're there.
A great exile story about playing the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, which is as big as it gets, right?
Yeah.
And the next night, they were scheduled to play the Mucky Duck in Anniston, Alabama.
Yeah.
And so J.P. Pennington gets off the bus and stands there and goes, so you're telling me we've hit the big time?
We've made it. Yeah. I mean, that's the truth. That's how they go. You know, the roller coaster is hilarious because you'll have those nights you're like, we just played in front of 1,200 people in this sold-out theater, and people knew every word, and you sold, you know, $3,000 worth of merch, and you signed autographs for an hour, and then you get in the van and you go to the next gig, and you're playing, you know, the chili cook-off for the mayor and his wife and nobody else, and you're like, rock and roll, here we go, and then you do it and you just keep going.
I talked to Margot Price one time after she had sold out the Ryman 3 nights in a row, right? And she was reminiscing on, like, bad gigs of the past. And she goes, "Oh, I did a songwriters festival in Florida one time for 6 people and a cardboard cutout of Kenny Chesney."
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, and that had more personality than a lot of the people there.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least Kenny was watching the whole time.
Right. He didn't talk the whole time.
He was really enthralled.
You went to Western Kentucky, didn't you?
I did.
And my memory, history and basketball coach?
That was the goal. Yeah, I thought that I was going to be a high school basketball coach and a history teacher, and then apparently found out that you have to maintain a certain GPA and get a college degree to do those things. And I found the want ads, and lead singer didn't need any of that.
Were you playing already, or did your career start in college?
Yeah, I had gotten a guitar. I grew up around music. I mean, we were talking earlier about my dad had grown up in bands around Nashville with my uncles.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't know is you are from here.
Yeah.
Which is a rarity.
And so, grew up around music and really loved it and felt immersed in it. But I got a guitar when I was 17, my sort of last year of high school, and started playing, then pretty deeply got into it. But then really that second year of college, or as I like to call my senior year of college, I was done and playing in bands pretty much all the time at that point.
That's Will Hoge from Tenderhearted Boys on Coffee, Country, and Cody. Thanks for getting up early and coming to see us, and great to have you at the Opry in the last
so
week or
good
so.
to be
You were
there.
there.
Yes,
Yeah.
always such a pleasure.